Now to begin part 4. Chapter 29, Hard Times. I was sold to a baker, with whom Jerry thought I would have a good food and fair work. If my new master had always been present, I think things would have gone well. As it happened, I was often overloaded. There was a foreman there who always hurrying everyone. Usually, when I already had a full load, he would order my carter to pile on more. My carter tried to reason with the man, but was always overruled. This job wore me down in a very short time. I had to pull heavy loads up steep hills all day. When I slowed down, I was whipped. Finally, a younger horse was brought in, and I was sold off. My new master, who owned a cab company, cared only for his money. He spoke to his drivers in a rough manner, with a voice harsh and the grinding cartwheels over gravel. They, in turn, were rough with the horses. It was with this company that I learned how really hard a cab horse's life could be. I had no day of rest, and I was fed only at night. My driver whipped me constantly, sometimes under the belly. This treatment took the spirit out of me, and soon I wished to be put out of my misery. One day, after having taken a passenger to the train station, my driver pulled up behind some other cabs, hoping to get another passenger. After a short wait, a family came up to our cab. They had a lot of luggage, and the porter suggested the man that he hired 2 cabs. The man asked my driver if I would be able to handle the load, and my driver assured him I would. The man's little girl came over to me and looked into my eyes. She turned back to her father then. "Papa," she said, "I'm sure this poor horse cannot take us all and our luggage. He is so very weak and worn out." "Nonsense, Grace," he said. "Get in the cab and don't make a fuss. I'm sure this man knows his business. If he says his horse can take us, then we will take this one cab." Everything was loaded onto my cab, and the people climbed in. It was all so heavy that the cab sank on its springs closer to the road. The driver paid it little attention and signaled me with a great lash of the whip to pull out of the station. I did well until we came to a hill. I tried as best as I could to pull the cab up that hill, but my feet slipped. Suddenly, I fell to the ground on my side and felt the breath knock out of me. I had no power to move. I just lay there and closed my eyes, thinking that it was my end. Something was poured down my throat, and a blanket was placed over me. After a while, I was able to get up, and someone led me to a stable. There I rested a few days. My master was angry. The doctor told him I would never be good for cab work again. Luckily, this doctor suggested that I be nursed for a couple of weeks and taken to a horse sale. That was my master would not lose money he had paid for me, so it was decided that I would be sold once again. This time, I wasn't sad or afraid to leave. I felt that nothing could be worse than a cab company.